Well, to me, it was Shedeur. I didn't see any interceptions when he was out there. I didn't see anything like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think Dillon Gabriel did a bad job. I was impressed with the brother, but I'm going to go with Shedeur. You know, the pressure was on him. The spotlight was on him. He showed up out on the field. You know, he played better than expected, reminded everybody who he is and what he brings to the table. Shedeur moved the offense or whatever. I thought that his performance was slightly better than Dillon Gabriel. That's just me, guys.
And to get the compare and contrast, the juxtaposition from how he handled his post-game press conference after his first preseason action versus Shedeur.
Well. After Dillon Gabriel's costly fumble and his harsh comments about Shedeur Sanders, the spotlight is right back on the Browns once again. The pressure is mounting, and fans are louder than ever, rallying around Shedeur Sanders and demanding that he finally gets the chance to start against the Cincinnati Bengals. With the fan base growing louder and more united in their calls to see Shedeur Sanders as the starter, the heat is once again on Kevin Stefanski. This time, the criticism isn't just casual, it's intense and widespread. After rolling with Dillon Gabriel in the previous game, many are now openly questioning Stefanski's judgment and decision-making process. What stands out even more, though, is his noticeable reluctance to directly confront the ongoing Shedeur Sanders conversation, leaving people puzzled about where he really stands.
Opening day starter is at quarterback. Will you also set the pecking order following, meaning quarterback 2, 3, and 4, or will there be a competition right through Cincinnati week?
Yeah, well, I'll talk to we'll have the team in tomorrow, so I'll be able to talk through a bunch of different things with our players. But in terms of, where people are, first string, second string, those type of things, not really thinking about that right this minute.
During his most recent press conference, Kevin Stefanski appeared visibly unsettled. The pauses, the uncertainty, it was clear he wasn't comfortable tackling the quarterback question, especially when Shedeur Sanders' name entered the conversation. When asked why he intends to play the regular starter in the third preseason game this year after avoiding it last year, his answer left more confusion than clarity. His exact words were, "We do what the players need." While it's clear he remains hesitant to give Shedeur a real shot, Stefanski also seems cautious about speaking out against him, likely because he knows the fans have a valid point, and the uncertainty from Stefanski just doesn't stop. When pressed directly about the quarterback situation, his answer was simply, "We'll decide in a couple of days." But let's be honest, no one seriously believes you can figure out your starting quarterback in just 2 days. That's not careful planning, it's buying time, and fans can see right through it. Deep down, they understand their voices are being heard, and if they keep the pressure on, Stefanski may have no choice but to acknowledge that Shedeur Sanders deserves to be higher on the depth chart.
What do you plan to do at quarterback for the dress rehearsal game, and what is the timeline for naming a Week 1 starter?
Yeah, I want to get through the next couple days, but certainly that's something that we're going to do here sooner than later.
With Dillon Gabriel's recent comments spiraling out of control, the pressure on the Browns has only intensified. Now, even analysts are stepping in, openly saying that Shedeur Sanders has shown more promise than Gabriel. Chris Canty didn't hold back, pointing out that when it comes to handling himself, both on and off the field, Shedeur's debut stood out as far more impressive than Gabriel's performance. In his view, Shedeur has already earned the right to be a bigger part of this team.
And to get the compare and contrast, the juxtaposition from how he handled his post-game press conference after his first preseason action versus Shedeur.
Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel is busy trying to repair his reputation. He's now walking back his remarks about Shedeur Sanders, dismissing them as nothing more than a miscommunication. But let's be real. Was it truly a misunderstanding? His comments were direct, deliberate, and left little room for doubt. He took clear shots, and now that the backlash has hit, he's scrambling to dial it back. This is where the line becomes clear. There's a big difference between being a genuine competitor and simply playing the role of an entertainer. And that's exactly where this debate starts to shift. Chris Canty jumped in quickly on this controversy, drawing a straight comparison between Dillon Gabriel's entertainer remark and the infamous line from Oregon's coach when they went up against Colorado. The one about the team only playing for clicks. Back then, Shedeur Sanders was right in the spotlight, leading that Colorado team, and Gabriel's words now sound almost identical in tone. Canty pointed out that this wasn't just some harmless slip of the tongue, it fits into a bigger narrative. No matter how much Gabriel tries to brush it off, the intent behind his comments is clear, and his attempt to cover it up just doesn't hold weight. With the context laid out, fans aren't buying it, and the calls for Shedeur Sanders to finally get the starting job are growing even louder.
Stepped into the spotlight here as the entertainer. Is that how you took it?
Oh, absolutely. How could it not go to that place? I mean, remember, we had his former head coach, Dan Lanning at Oregon, give the pregame speech where he was just talking about how Colorado was doing it for clicks and they were trying to do it for wins. Remember, Shedeur Sanders being the quarterback for the Colorado Buffaloes, his dad being Coach Prime.
Shannon Sharpe also came out swinging, refusing to let Dillon Gabriel off the hook. He flat out rejected the idea that Gabriel's comments were being misinterpreted, arguing that too many people were trying to twist his words into something they weren't. According to Sharpe, the remark was intentional, pointed, and there's no mistaking what he meant. No amount of backpedaling can change that. To drive the point home, Sharpe brought up a strikingly similar situation from last season when Oregon's head coach took a public jab at Colorado, using nearly the same language and tone. And just like now, the target was Shedeur Sanders. The kicker? Oregon's quarterback during that very moment was none other than Dillon Gabriel himself, right in the center of it all.
Saying he meant the media are the entertainers and a competitor, and he's a competitor, and he wasn't taking a shot at Shedeur, but the damage was done. Everybody knows what he meant by that, because you know why? And I'm gonna let you take off. You remember at Oregon, what the head coach said when they played Colorado?
Right.
Who was the quarterback?
Yeah.
Who was the quarterback?
Chris Canty didn't let up, pressing even harder on Gabriel's comments. He made it clear that Gabriel was taking indirect shots at Shedeur Sanders while trying to act like he wasn't. And even if, for argument's sake, Gabriel meant his words for the media, Canty questioned what that was supposed to prove. It simply didn't make sense. The media's job is to report and analyze, while the player's job is to show up and perform on the field. That balance of competition and coverage is what keeps the entire sports world moving. By twisting it into something else, Gabriel wasn't doing himself any favors. In fact, Canty argued, the excuse only made him look weaker, since it fell apart under scrutiny. Now even the media has started joining the fans, openly calling for a quarterback change and pushing Shedeur Sanders higher up on the depth chart.
And I hope, for his sake, that he takes that as a teachable moment.
Yep.
Because when you're the quarterback of a team, it's a leadership position by nature. And not only do you have to be good on the field, but you got to be good at the podium. It's a part of the job requirement. And I thought that was the wrong tone to set in terms of his post-game interview.
At this point, the situation has grown far beyond a simple preseason quarterback choice. Dillon Gabriel's struggles on the field, paired with his harsh comments off of it, have only intensified the call for change. What began as a debate about performance has now become a larger issue of leadership and accountability. Fans and analysts alike see a clear difference in how Shedeur Sanders carries himself compared to Gabriel, and the contrast couldn't be more obvious. Chris Canty and Shannon Sharpe both highlighted that Gabriel's words weren't slips. They were deliberate, and his attempts to walk them back only weakened his case. Instead of taking ownership, he came across as someone scrambling to protect his image. On the other hand, Shedeur has already shown composure, maturity, and promise, not just in his debut performance, but in the way he handles himself under pressure. Now, with fans demanding change and even the media echoing those calls, the pressure on Kevin Stefanski is at its peak. His vague answers only add to the frustration, making it clear he's running out of room to hide. If momentum continues to build, Stefanski may have no choice but to elevate Shedeur Sanders on the depth chart and give him his rightful chance to lead. What do you think about all this? Do you believe Kevin Stefanski is genuinely trying to make the best decision for the team, or is he just buying time under fan and media pressure? Should Shedeur Sanders be given the starting role right now, or does Dillon Gabriel deserve another chance to prove himself? And what about Gabriel's comments? Were they truly a miscommunication, or was the backlash completely justified? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear where you stand on this quarterback debate.